Hello, welcome to another episode of Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, and for the next 2 hours I'll be joining you here live, painting my miniatures, keeping you company, keeping you motivated, keeping me motivated, inspiring you, hopefully, to paint your miniatures, or whatever else it might be that you're painting this evening. It doesn't have to be miniatures, it could be anything. In fact, it could be any hobby. Welcome to the show. Welcome to a live little group where you can come together and do the stuff that you all get really passionate about and that we all really love. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been live, and actually, I can just... the audio in my headset is just a little bit tetchy. There it is. Is it working now? I've got such an old, crappy pair of headphones that sometimes my own voice doesn't come through properly. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. I wasn't here last week, and I just wanted to apologise to everybody for bailing on you. I did say at the end of the last show that I did, maybe I'll be here, maybe I won't. I was unsure what was going on, but basically what happened is that I had some friends that I haven't seen for a very long time who are very, very close to me. Not geographically, obviously, but emotionally. It was one of their birthdays, and they came all across the country, met up with me in my hometown, and we spent the weekend together, and it was really, really nice. So that meant, of course, that I had to ditch you guys on one of those evenings, because it was the night of Easy 8, was his birthday, and Joe, all of us had a wonderful time. So thank you very much for giving me the space to be able to go and explore my own life, and I apologise for not giving you the space and the environment to paint together live on air. If you're new here, Easy 8 isn't a tutorial show or anything like that. It is literally a place where you can come along, make some friends and get some painting done live, while other people like myself maybe struggle to get things done, or maybe have lots of victories and things like that. And it's just nice to be able to share that experience live with someone. Because for me, I struggle to get through projects quickly. And it's just nice to know that there's someone else out there who might be struggling as well. You know, who might be able to kind of help motivate me through it, or tell me how to get through those difficult projects or difficult parts of the projects. Because for me, every project has a difficult phase. That's what the show's all about. We're not just here on YouTube, we're on Facebook, Instagram and Discord as well, and you can join us on the Discord stream, if you want to call it a stream, at the Easy 8 After Party. Links to all of our platforms are just down there in the description of this video, so you should go and check those out. I am extremely tired this week, and I'm not going to go into what harrowing circumstances have befallen me and some of my work team this morning, unless you come and join me at the after party on Discord later on. I'll tell you why today has been a bit of a weird day. We're all fine. It's just a bit of a bizarre set of circumstances. More on that later if you come and join me at the end of the show with some of these crazy people. Cool. I have been so lazy. At the end of last week, I stripped my airbrush down, ready for it to have a bath in alcohol. And the components are all still here, a fortnight on. Don't do what I do. Be better. Might get that on a t-shirt. Easy 8. Don't do what Danny does. Be better than Danny. Yeah. Cool. If you are working on a project this evening, please do come and tell me all about it. I genuinely do get motivated by the stuff that you do. I love to see photographs of it, so if you're willing to take photographs of your stuff, put it up on Facebook, put it up on Discord, because that's where you can see it all. And I genuinely want to see your stuff, so come and tell me what projects you're working on this evening. And most of all, if you enjoy what we do here at Easy 8, or even like the idea of the show, but think it could be run better, then tell me. And of course, subscribe to the show, because it's the subscribers that make the show grow. You are the subscribers. You are the show. Easy is you. Oh, it's getting deep and philosophical. So, is it? Who knows? But please do tell a friend, share it around at work or at school or college or whatever. It's a family show. Bring your kids along. Get them involved. But share. Subscribe. The community gets bigger and better when we do. It's an organic process. And I love you all. There we go. Subscribe, please. It would make my day. Cool. Let's have a little look through the live chat and see who's here. Go right back to the beginning. We've got Kes. Hi, Kes. We've got Shiv from Table of Horrors. We've got Adrian. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Shiv. Hi, Crumb Studio. Adrian says, so I picked up a little tip the other day for relatively cheap paint palettes. Toffee. If any of the people from outside of the UK hear Toffee is a toffee nut chocolate treat. I love them. I have 3 trays of them downstairs, and they do have little cheap like paint palette things on them. They're just very light, so you might want to make them a bit heavier or stick them down or something. But yes, you're right, and if you have a sweet tooth like I do, you'll probably have quite a few at disposal. You do have to eat the toffee first, or do you? You should, because toffee is delicious. Following on from Adrian's tip says crumbs, tea light candles, the little metal tray in the candles. Do you know, actually, that's not a bad shout. Tea light candles and beer. I've seen people use beer bottles. No, sorry, beer bottle tops or just bottle tops. No beer needed. You can have Coca-Cola, can't you? But yeah, the little bottle tops that you get for like doing small amounts. So yeah, anything really that can be like a little tray that's disposable junk that you would normally just throw out. One man's junk is another man's treasure. My brushes are all rolling away. Stay there. Thank you. Who else have we got? We got Jeff. Hi, Dad. Thanks for coming along. Is that all we've got at the moment? Excuse me. Oh, that is all we've got at the moment. I've just literally forced dinner down my gullet, and that's why I was a little bit late. I'm so sorry. It has been a manic day. Cool. What am I painting this evening? Well, over the last few weeks, bar last week of course, I've been painting my MacFarlane Space Marine, my Dark Angel. He is so cool. I am so happy with it. Are there things that I could have done better on him? Absolutely. Do I want to go back and do them? No. But I'm having a great time painting it, and there's a couple of really cool looking things on it. And it's the first time I've seen it in a fortnight, and I really do love the alien style motion tracker on his arm. A little bit rough. I really want to be better at painting detail stuff like that, but it does look pretty cool, and I am really, really happy with it. Some of the OSL on him is super cool. When I made the stencil for his shoulder, very happy with that. But I'm not going to be painting him this evening. No. I'm going to be painting his bolt rifle, because there's one thing really I think left to do. Well, two. There's a little bit of tidy up. Go into that in a second. And I also want to put a number on his shoulder pad, but more on that in a second. So really, by and large, this guy's done. That's exciting. It's the bolt rifle to go. I'd like to think I could get the bolt rifle finished today, but I don't know. I haven't really explored the bolt rifle yet. It's got a stick in it so that it's easier to hold, which is lovely, especially when airbrushing. So that will have to be removed, and the super glue is quite harsh on it, so there'll be a lot of cleanup involved in that, and then having to repaint on the inside. I am going to do a bit of a repaint in general on it, and you know what? I'm just going to go straight to the workbench now to talk about that. So here we go. So here is the Marine himself. His shoulder pads are on. This one, I question if it's actually on properly. I don't really know. It feels... There was never that satisfying click. When you pop these guys back together again, there's a satisfying click on there. And this one didn't happen. But it looks... I can see inside, and it looks like he's in. So shoulder pads are on, man. He's got this shoulder pad. That looks really cool. That's just black ink over white. It's cool, isn't it? Love his little knee pad detail down there. Some little pouches, exploring scratches on leather and things. Love a little bit of the work on the hand. Yeah, that hand grenade is subtle, and the colour of it's in keeping with the rest of the theme. So red features as a bit of a support colour, doesn't it? And it's all the same red as well. And then obviously you've got the chest plate on the front, metallic version of the one on the shoulder with a missing rivet. I wondered, oh, is that a feature? But no, because it's there. We've got a missing rivet here. Here's the shoulder pad. Could have been done a little bit better, but do you know what? Just generally, I'm really happy with the shape, the size of it, and whatever. And it's really difficult to see where the inadequacy, where the shit bit is. It needs a big number 3 on it, and I was talking a couple of weeks ago. I think I've got a big decal for like a Roman style numeral, not a Roman numeral, but like a Gothic numeral to go on there. And I wanted a 3 that would be like the size of the end of my finger joint, basically. So it would kind of go. Let me point with this paintbrush here. It would go from here like up to about here. Big number 3. Somewhere in this area, right over the top of it, in white would be kind of cool. I thought I had one / some. I don't. So Adrian, I'm going to call upon your services as a friend. You said last week that you might have one lying around, and I said that I would search for mine, and I was unsuccessful in that search. Would I be able to take you up on that offer, or should I do another episode where I try to freehand a Gothic numeral? And ruin everything I've spent the last couple of months doing here. I've got itchy nose, excuse me. There we go. Here's his little motion tracker. It's really cool, isn't it? I really like it. It's so fun. It's a bit shiny on the screen there. The light's kind of reflecting quite a bit. But yeah, I really like this guy. There's a little bit of tidy up on him, which basically in some of the joints, like in the elbow and whatever, where he originally got his first spray, I thought I had him locked into the right position, but if I bend his elbows out, you can see that there's some blank patches on there. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit those with some black, hit it with a layer of the dark green, and just leave it, and it should be subtle. But he is done with all that in mind. Okay, cool. Moving on to this bad boy, the bolt rifle, bent out of shape because these guys are mass produced and they're cheap, I think. So you can see that there's a bit of a banana sort of shape here. Do you see that? If I hold it like that, can you see how it sort of wants to droop down a little bit? The whole gun is barely noticeable, but because I'm handling it quite a bit, it's quite easy for me to see. God, I've got an itch. Live shows, right? You can see that the silver on here is neater on the scope and rougher down here. That's me playing around with some test stuff. Ultimately unhappy with everything about this gun at the moment. The colour, the way that the division of colour, really, really good. That's cool. I sprayed or airbrushed on the silver. I used the Vallejo metal colour range, the high quality silvers, which are really, really good, but they need a really smooth surface for them to function properly. We would use a gloss black varnish underneath it, and gloss because it helps smooth things out, it makes things much shinier. But this plastic, whatever this plastic is, and it is slightly rubbery plastic, it's not easy to break, has a sort of surface to it that is rough, probably on a macroscopic level, and that silver just looks like any other silver out of any other cheap silver range. So the reason that I sprayed it is because I wanted to get that finish, which I didn't achieve, and it meant that I had to hand paint the red over the top because I wasn't able to. It would taken me an age to mask it all off, and I did try, so that I could then spray the red on over the top. And this has been very, very difficult. I've had to hand paint the red because of that, and red has a very tricky pigment, I suppose. It's got an awful pigment coverage. Yellow used to be the worst, it's much better nowadays. Red is terrible. Orange, I think, is the worst. And I've had to do layer upon layer upon layer, and you can see that there are textures. Can you see these textures? See that? And it's been almost unavoidable. And maybe it's this paint as well. I've used airbrush paints. I've been putting mediums in them. I've been putting water in them to try lots of different things, and I always end up getting brush strokes in it. I've got brush strokes in it. That's fine. But the paint job, as you can see here, is still patchy, and I don't like that because it looks like it's patchy. It doesn't look like I've put a filter over it, which you can see on some other parts of the model. That is not what I want. So I'm going to have to get that red. I'm going to have to airbrush it on to get smooth layers, which will intensify quite quickly, but of course that's going to cover up all the silver. So the silver would have to be hand painted back into position. One of the reasons that I wanted to spray the silver and then hand paint the red, and why I wasn't able to really kind of get the masking in there, is because in here, this line here, I was hoping that the silver would show up. I wanted it to look like that the red case at the top and the red hand bit at the bottom were two pieces that kind of slot over the whole metal framework, or the receiver, I believe they're called in real life, on any kind of rifle. And these cases would kind of slot at the top, and then obviously you got bolts on them that would bolt into place. And I was hoping that this silver would kind of show through that line in there. It doesn't, because it's such a tight line. Light can't get in there or back out again for you to be able to see it very well, and that is fine, right? I would still like to try and get some silver in there, and clearly that's going to be very difficult, but if I bring it up you can see, again, if I point with the pointy thing, so you can see this area here is all silver, right? Follow the bristles, silver in there. Can you see where you can just about see silver between the two cases, can't you? So that was why I wanted to spray the silver on and hand paint the red. It was just getting very, very difficult to try and mask it off. I'm just going to have to suck it up and deal with it and not be precious about it, and that's an ongoing thing for me. Where it's darker over here is where I was playing around with an oil wash, a black oil wash, to see how it would affect the silver. I absolutely hate it, so it's going to get a full respray. And then we've got a purity seal on the end over here, and you can see that I've picked it out in this colour because, well, I had 10 minutes and I was playing around with colours, but you can see that I've got some overspray on there as well. It's just going to be, that's just a detail that will go on at the end. So that is where I'm at. The colour I'm using is Gory Red Vallejo. I really like this colour. It's basically a crimson. Wicked. I hope that my airbrush works fine. It does look like it is fairly clean. I did give it a quick sort of manual clean, I suppose is a good word to use there. A manual clean. But the nozzle could do with a bit of a clean out. So Yes, there we go. Let's have a little look at some of the comments going in. Without spending too long, go back over everything and reading everything here. Where are we? Good luck to Danny, though, too, of course. Why good luck to me? What are we doing? What is good luck for? We'll be in and out for an hour or so. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Shiv. No worries. Yes, no, kind of. Not an ideal experience, but for now, Horace Harrison stuff. I think I've lost the trail of that conversation. Big reveal. Oh, there must be a big reveal coming. Cool. I don't know what the luck for me is, but thank you very much nonetheless. Oh, do you know what? There's too many things here for me to keep up with. Adrian says he's put pictures of his current desk on Discord. Thanks very much, mate. I'll have a look at those in a bit. Kess says Battletech, Free, Rasselhague Republic, First Dracons. Mine is just up there. I'll get him later so you can have a look at mine because I think you should copy mine. Adrian says, all part of a 2,000 point infantry army. Got to get out 6 heavy weapons teams and 4 field ordnance batteries to complete it. Wow, have you got a time frame on that? You've been bashing out stuff lately. That's so cool. All in need of either a repaint or basing of both. Yikes. Well, the very best of luck to you. And then there's Crumbs saying that what's the next project after that? Ed 209. But there's a little bit of construction work to do on him still, but I can still get with the prepping and priming. Beautiful model, really looking forward to it. Something really, really different. And then Adrian's letting me know that I can certainly have that decal. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. Hopefully it's the right size. Anyway, where am I? Let's get on with some cleaning here. Neat cleaner. I'm just going to pop a little bit of cleaner through everything. Just hopefully, if there's any kind of debris or detritus in there, it'll just start loosening it all up. I couldn't see any light coming through the end of the nozzle here, and I've been using those Green Stuff World fluorescent paints, and I'm gonna have to chuck them because even though I did kind of get them loosened up and working in the end, they were still they just expired, and they become very, very viscous and very, very hard to clean up afterwards, and I can see it all clumping in the end of this nozzle here. I've just lost my audio. Is anybody else missing audio there? We're getting some clippy sensations in my audio. Like my sound keeps on cutting out. That's so weird. I wonder if I've just got an error or there's a background process going on my PC. I often do check my PC for background processes. It does make the show run that much smoother. The show is quite demanding. And I've got quite a high spec computer. I wouldn't say it's like an elite super cool anything like that, but it is a very high powered computer. But yeah, the show is very demanding. There is a lot of filth scooping out of the inside of this nozzle here. The needle that I use here is just a sewing needle, just on a cork, so it's easier to handle and you don't hurt yourself a lot. But it's actually quite a bit thicker in diameter, and if I push it too far forward through the nozzle, I stand there's a risk of rupture in the end. Never push so hard you rupture your end. Sorry, it's a family show. Why am I saying that? So, I'm feeling a bit plucky. I can actually get the standard needle, push that through. But there's quite a blockage in there. I'm not going to be able to put any paint through that at all. So I'm just going to have to really take my time. I don't want to buckle the end of the needle at all. And I'm probably doing a lot of dangerous things with it right now. There's probably a few pros out there watching me. No, there's not. But if they were, they'd be like, oh my god, what are you doing? I don't know why they talk like that. Yeah. Jeff says it went jumpier for a bit. Yeah, a bit weird. Don't know what's going on. Well, what I can do is I can certainly just construct the whole airbrush back together again, and just see if I can force some air through it. Get some neat cleaner sitting in there for a minute. That paint has virtually ruined my airbrush, and I do remember using it when it was brand new, and it was really good paint, and it was actually quite a delight to use. But since it's kind of expired, it's really naff, really aggressive paint, and it just dries like concrete. And yeah, of course I've been busy and otherwise preoccupied to remember that I need to give my airbrush a bit of a clean. There's just a lot going on right now, you know. And also, here's some news: buying a house. So we put in an offer, and it was accepted. That's all very exciting. So there's a lot going on right now. So it's not that I've just been like super lazy and just not been up here and clean my airbrush. Like there's, you know, I've got work going on, which I'm starting to get much more used to work now. The needle is poking out the end there, that's good. I'm starting to get much more used to my new job, but it's just very busy now. And actually next week is very quiet, and I'm hoping that I will be able to catch up on a lot of stuff. Right. Okay, I actually have airflow. That's really exciting. That's really good. So it's a little bit dodges. I am just going to put a fair amount of cleaner in the bottom there and see if anything comes out. Yeah, some little pieces occasionally. Okay, I'm going to loosen off the needle, pull it back a little bit, and then push it back forwards again, and hopefully that sits in like the perfect place. We might be good to go. No more painty lumps coming out. That's good. Okay, it's still not properly cleaned, I can tell you that for right now. But I'm just going to get my purge tank out here, pour a load of water through it, get rid of any of the cleaner left behind, because if that mixes with the paint in the paint chamber, that's just going to ruin the paint, isn't it? Look at that, like 7:30, and I haven't even opened a paint pot yet. I'm just a real man, doing real man painting. So a YouTube video of a new studio setup, it's a staple of painting YouTubers. Absolutely you will do. Yeah, we will do that. If you want the paint scheme on your Raven, you can paint them yourself. Yeah, the paint scheme I did was a bit complicated for doing a whole unit's worth, wasn't it? Yeah, I'd love to do like a video setup thing of the new place that I get. It's going to be a while before we're in there. It's a beautiful place. We're so happy with it. It still might not happen. It's been accepted, but like solicitors are doing their thing, which is very exciting. But just a few miles away from here, beautiful house, beautiful bit of land, lovely. Just couldn't ask for more. Well, I could. And I did, and they said no, and I was like, okay. So yeah. Dry bit of paint on the end of this nozzle here. Come on. Okay, thank you. Do you know what? I'm going to give that a bit of a shake. Just going to put 5 drops in there. Let's scoop off the remains. There we go. And I'm not going to bother mixing anything into it. I don't want to dilute it down. This paint comes out quite thin and smooth, but if I dilute it, obviously I'm going to be making the pigment issue more worse. That's proper words right there. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Flow test. Excellent. Wish me luck. Now I'm going in quite rough and heavy with it really, because there's texture already all over it, and if I go in a little bit heavier with it, I might stand a chance of actually covering some of that up. And that texture was added by me by hand painting, but also because the mould lines are quite severe in some places, and you can see a lot of areas where I was cleaning it all up, and it might be that a heavy layer of paint might help hide the sin. Clearly I'm going to go through that paint quite fast, so I'm going to keep it. Have I done with it? No, there it is. Jeff says, all the problems you have with your airbrush is because you don't have a Wazomatic. That's an absolute vehement lie, but if it makes you happy, I'll go along with it. Buying a house, Dad. Can't afford a Wazomatic right now. Already I can see that the coverage of an airbrush is so much better than painting it on with a hand brush. It's or by hand, probably the better way of saying it. It just gets an even coat. And you know, I tried. I really did try. But there is thickness to these. I'm going to call them panels, plates. So I've got to make sure that I get the three-dimensional edges there as well. You can see how pale and pasty it is on the end there, can't you? It's just not right. My camera's a little bit out, so let me just move that. That's a bit better. Bring the light over here. There we go. Must have knocked it. Just going to hit it with some cold air just every now and again, just to help agitate that layer of paint dry. Dries pretty quickly. It's actually quite warm in here as well, as is the case with this season. I will do the purity seal in a different colour. I don't like it when they're painted like purples and greens like that. I like my purity seals to be red. I'm just a old-fashioned person like that. So I'll just make sure that it stands out in a different red. making sure that this side here gets a bit more attention, because this is the side that's going to be on display a bit more, but it doesn't take an awful lot of effort to match the other side, does it? This is literally a YouTube show about watching paint dry. I'm so sorry. And I think we're pretty good there, aren't we? Maybe it could do with one more coat, but that's actually smoothed out a lot of that texture as well. I'm really quite happy with that. It was the same choice, really. I'll give it one more go. No, do you know what I'm not going to? Because I am going to put a wash of Basilicon and Grey over the top of it. Just a mild one, just to kind of give it a little bit of depth and help run into a lot of the creases and things. The oil wash didn't work very well for it, on the silver at least, so I'm going to just do a grey wash over the whole thing. And then I can brighten it back up a bit if I need to as well. While that's drying, I'm just going to stick that in my little polystyrene tray thing, which I've absolutely misplaced, so I won't do it. Where? Well, oh, there it is, isn't it? Hidden under a ruler of all things. Cool. Just a block of polystyrene with some holes in it. And it just stakes it. There we go. I can stay there for a second. Cool. I will put a little bit of cleaner through the airbrush again. Yeah, there we go. Where is it? There it is. Mike Turner's joined us. Hi Mike, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. I think you'll find the main reason for airbrush shenanigans is not enough cowbell. I don't have any cowbell, so good. Right, pop that there. I have a feeling I'll be coming back to that soon. Brilliant. Time for tea. Happy weekend. So, will your new studio have enough room for a 12-foot game table? No, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to get this workbench in there, my PC rig in there as well, and potentially have space for gaming. The only thing is that room will be right next door to the bedroom, so when my partner inevitably goes to sleep, because she's useless after 8 o'clock, is that if I'm playing games it will just keep her awake. So it might not be the best use of the space, but I've got the largest room in the house for the studio. She's been very kind to me, so she's a good egg, worth keeping. I'm a very fortunate individual. Where am I going to put this paint? I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I put that in the wrong place. I get my purples and my blues all mixed up. Lovely. Right, okay. Some silver. Going to use chainmail. Garden man cave on the menu. Comes with a shed. Bigger than my studio now. It's an enormous shed. But you know, you don't want to leave your stuff outside in the shed, do you? Okie dokie. Gonna put a little bit of paint retarder in that silver because it will start to dry up before I get through it all, I'm sure. So put a dollop of it on the side of my palette and I can just scoop it in with the brush. It's like a hair gel, it's really weird stuff. I'm going to put a bit of flow improver in there. Just a smidge. There we go. some more flow improver at some point, I think. Okie dokie. Brush to mix it all. Huh. I haven't brought my paint water with me. I changed the jar. I've left it by the sink. Smooth. Well, only another 15 minutes before the break and I can go and get it. I never leave the chair. Yikes. What an imbecile. I was rushing a little bit today, clearly. Right, put that there then. And I will go to my zero brush, I think. Will I go to my zero brush? Yeah, I'm going to use my zero. And I'm just going to hand paint that silver back in. So, a lot of the silver's already in place, but yeah, you can see that I've ruined a lot of it, haven't I? So, I'm just going to start off a nice easy area, flat surfaces, or just kind of get me fine-tuned back into the thing. I need to go over all the silver anyway, because like I said earlier, I don't like what I did with the oil paint. It just didn't work. Maybe I rushed it. I'm not sure. Absolutely worth having a go though. Like, never be frightened to experiment. Play with your paints, play with the styles, your techniques, whatever. There we go. I imagine that the effect on the gun will be very similar to the wings on his chest. That'll be okay. But they do have an oil wash on them, and it worked on that. And I think it's because they're smaller pieces with lots more detail on them. The gun obviously comes with a lot more sort of open, flat surfaces, where that oil wash was just really removing any of the realism from the silver that went down. Really taking my time there to cut in against the edge of the red. One false move and I could ruin the whole thing. Going to need a second coat. That's fine. Nice and clean, isn't it? Could probably be using another size up on the brush, really, at this stage. But I'm locked in now, so I'll suffer for literally no reason at all. Starting to get very warm here in the studio. may paint part of the handle black. So I think this hand grip here, I think it'd be quite nice if I did that in a black. So I'm not going to do anything more on it right now. There's no need wasting silver on it if I'm not going to paint that in. I think it'd be quite nice to have that little differentiation. And also, it's going to be held in his hand for, you know, like almost the entire time he's on display, so it doesn't really matter that much, but I'd like to do it. It's been such a long time since I've had to like base coat a large area by hand. Normally I just get the airbrush to do it. I suppose that's what happens when you start scaling up your mini sizes, right? Brush is starting to dry out and I've got no water. What I'll do, I think, is I will paint the bottom part of the handle in silver, and then this kind of grit bit in the middle will be black, or a very, very dark grey. Okay, you can kind of get the idea what it's going to look like, can't you? You can see that in the two different shades there. Lots of conversation going in, so do you know what? I'm just going to have a little pause, have a sip of my tea, and catch up on what's going on. I only see 4 likes and 6 watching, says Steve. Hi, Steve. Thanks for coming along. I see 8 viewers. Sorry, Steve. That's been remedied. What am I going to do with this milkmaid outfit now? It's getting a bit weird, getting a bit freaky there. No, I've not really thought about going into the OnlyFans side of the internet. It feels a little bit weird for my liking. Wearing an apron with welding gear in hand. It's getting a bit weird. Oh, you are wearing your apron with your welding gear in your hand. Cool. That's great. For a minute there, I thought we were like just one-upping on the milkmaid's outfit, and I was like, no, I'm not happy with any of that. This man has ideas. Excellent. I'd love to hear your ideas. Please tell us all about it. Like and subscribe. He loves saying it. Thank you so much. Don't worry, the outfit comes with a latex mask. Uh-oh. Taps for the win, Danny. Taps for the win. Taps for the win. Taps. You're making taps. So cool. What are you planning for the purity seal? I'm going to have a go at handwriting text. Not actually writing actual text, but kind of like doing the miniature style text or lots of scribbles. But maybe in a couple of areas, drawing like a little picture, or like doing a like a medieval style capital letter and things like that. That's going to take the right mindset to do it. But it would be good to have a go at it. You only get better at things if you actually try. So yeah, I'm going to try, basically. That's that. All I'm doing at the moment is I'm literally just doing the large open areas, and I'm pushing it right up to the, I'm going to call it the cutting in point, the event horizon if you will, right up to the edge of the other colour. And if it's a little too tricky to do that, I'm going to wait until a little bit later when I've got my water to wash my brush off, but also if I make a mistake it's nice to go in with a clean brush and try and tidy it up. And I'm also just not in the right headspace at the moment to try getting in. It's been a couple of weeks since I picked up even a paintbrush, so it just takes a little bit of build up, you know. Like in here, I've got all this detail going. I put my thumb right in that silver paint. That will transfer onto the red if I'm not careful. It's an idiot. Yeah, I've got to, you know, take my time getting all this silver into all these details here, and I'm just not in that right mind space yet. So, you know, I will. Onto the scope. I could paint the scope in different colours. Again, I could paint like the little caps on it or something maybe. I don't think I'll paint them red. I think I might break it all up with a little bit of black. But for now, I'm just going to get some silver on there, so that I can see it all being separated from the red. I might just like it a little bit more simple, just all in silver perhaps. I'm going to paint some lenses into it. I don't really know what colour lenses I'm going to do in there yet. I might do like a dark blue. I'd like to do a dark green because it kind of fits in with my night vision fantasy, I suppose, which is, it would look cool if it was done in green. But obviously there's a lot of green on the whole Space Marine itself, isn't there? So I don't want it to be, you know, to bleed away into that, basically. So blue, I'm thinking. My brush is a bit too small for this, clearly. Just going to use the last little bit that's in the palette there, try and smush it in. Basically, my paintbrush now needs quite a clean. So, let me just pop that in there like that. You can sit there like that now. Might actually even be able to paint like this. Never thought of that before. Okay, cool. Well. Hashtag suck the brush. Kez says he has made a point of not leaving the chair on air, so no taps. Oh, taps, you know, so you have water. Yeah, like I got like my little jar of water just outside the door. I don't get out of the chair because the room's really untidy, and me sitting in the chair helps hide a lot of it. That's why. It's not like some sort of It's not like some sort of mysterious trying to be sort of like Mark Zuckerberg. You'll never see him not wearing his hoodie or whatever. It's just messy in the room, and I hide a lot of it by sitting in front of it because I'm fat. Steve says I pushed it right into the cutting in point once. Yep, okay. The SWAT team were not understanding. Oh dear, thanks Jeff for the name of my OnlyFans channel for I use the T or suck the brush. Hashtag suck the brush. Now I see, it makes sense now. Steve looking through his welding mask finger. Let's no, not going to read it. I'm not going to read it. I'm not reading all these on the fringe comments. I'm just not going to do it at all. Oh, my apologies. Wine has happened. It is that time though, isn't it? It is the halfway point. It is time where we go and relinquish our caffeine for more finer liquors in the evening. A grown-up juice, as I like to call it, and I'm going to go and get myself a beer donated to me by one of my colleagues the other day. Very kind of him anyway. I will be back in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, go and change your paint water. I will see you very shortly. Bye-bye. Welcome back. Everything's been a bit janky today. I think there must be like a background process going on the computer. If you're experiencing some audio or even video sort of glitches today, I'm really sorry. My computer's running away with itself today. Anyway, we're in the second half. I've been and got myself a grown-up juice. Today I'm having myself a lovely Italian, slightly higher strength lager, chilled for the summer that I'm feeling it is right now. To everybody else, cheers, happy weekend, happy Friday. Don't overflow. Oh, it's tasty. Thank you so much, mate. Lovely. If you're working on something this evening, I'd love to know about it, so come and tell me all about it. Tell us all about it. Stick it over here in the live chat. Take some photos and you can put them up on any of our platforms, on Facebook, on Discord if you like. You can join me at the end of the show on Discord at the Easy 8 After Party, and sometimes I put little pretty pictures up and videos and things on Instagram, but I haven't been on there for a little while. Maybe I'll do something with that over this weekend, put some new pictures up and things. If you like what we do, of course, please do subscribe to the show, because you are the subscribers, you are the show, and we only get bigger and better if you share and subscribe. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon beside it as well, because sometimes I make mistakes and do wrong videos, and sometimes I do surprise videos, and it will let you know when I'm going live. So hit the bell icon, but most importantly, hit subscribe. Go and tell a friend, go and grab a stranger, be like, subscribe, you cretin. Don't do that. Do it. Back to the workbench. There's lots of drunken talk going on in the live chat over there. I'm just going to let you guys talk that out for you. I'm happy for it to continue, but I think if I get sucked into that conversation, I just need to paint. So it's just getting a bit weird, frankly, for my liking. It takes all sorts, right? But that's why we're here. Spread the love. Be with friends. Talk about wearing aprons and milkmaid outfits. Float your boat, pal. So literally, I'm just on Project Silver here right now, aren't I? I'm going to try and just, now that I was able to clean my my brushes, I brought water in. Yeah, I've been able to clean my brushes out, mix up some new silver. There's a hair in there. Let's get rid of that. Now I can go a little bit heavier with the silver. Missed it. I see you. I got you. Staff has joined us. Hi, staff. Hi, crew. Unable. Sorry. Up at Alton Towers. That's really hard to say when you stammer. Thanks, man. So unable to join in this evening. Have a great show. Can't help but notice the contradiction in terms there. Unable to join in this evening, but you're saying it by joining in this evening. I think you need to stick around, pal. Just saying. See through your lies. See through your lies. I don't believe you. I don't think you're at Alton Towers. For those of you outside of the UK, Alton Towers, a famous destination for thrill seekers, roller coaster park, etc. You know, just a good old theme park. It's actually a very good theme park. But I say that with confidence, not actually ever having been there. Now, where I'm painting this part of the scope here, I'm pushing with this brush right up to the edge, best as I can, because when I go in with a smaller brush, I don't want to be sitting here having to paint large open areas with a really tiny brush. But of course, the further I go in with this bigger brush, the more likely I am to make a mistake. So I'm just trying to be quite gentle. Just take my time. Like, there's no rush or anything. Okay, very reasonable. Same on this side then. I joined to say hi, then off to the beer selling station at the hotel. Okay, cool. Take me with you. Possibly waiting in one of the 4-hour lines. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've never been to Alton Towers. Like, you have to wait around a lot. But I think staff has been there before and quite likes it. Biggest queue today was 35 minutes. Been on so many rides. Oh, that sounds excellent then. At least you got to get your money's worth. Good for you. Hope you're having a good time. Take me to the beer tent with you. There's absolutely no excuse. No reason why you should be missing the show. You lose points. Oh look, I've actually got a tiny little dot of silver here when I was painting that scope. Do you see that tiny dot? Fortunately, it's right in an area where I'm going to paint silver. So no need to get irate about that, but definitely need to take my time and be a bit more careful, right? Going to paint these bits at the back as well while I'm here. Oh, it's making my eyes go funny. Just painted my finger there with the miniature. That's clever of me, wasn't it? So I've got to get a little bit of silver in between. So there's this panel here, whatever the shape is, and it's not right up against the back end of the gun. And you can see that there should be silver in there. So I'm probably just going to have to, when I'm feeling a little bit more like I'm going to tackle that, I have to get some silver in there and probably like hand paint the red back in. So I'll just do that at a later date, and I can do lots of different things like that all at the same time. Call it a repair work, really. I'll do it a bit later. Same on this side then. Gosh, it's warm in here today. Gonna have to start getting the fan out under the desk. Getting that time of year again. Boy, this is slow and grueling work, but getting through it though. Teaches you patience, if nothing else. Occasionally come across an edge or an undercroft which hasn't taken the paint so well, like the paint's sometimes too thick to be pushed into some little recesses, and once the paint starts to dry it's really easy to notice those things, especially when you go around for a second time. So I just like to take my time, second pass, just make sure I've got everything and give it, even though it's a second pass, it's first coat, because I've missed it the first time round, and it will really stand out if I don't. A bit of water to the paint there, just supple it up a little bit. Even though it's got paint retarder in there, it does start to congeal after a while. I think this little button here is like the magazine release switch or something. Not feeling like I'm ready to take that on just yet. So, like, basically there's a little bit in there. And I'm not ready to take that on yet. I'm not psyched enough for it. So I'm just going to carry on working my way across the top of the rifle here. Painting in these little details. The live chat is still as colourful as it always is. I'm just reading through them in silence because I know there's better than me saying them out loud. What a fruity little live chat today. It's almost like you'd been deprived of your regular painting show for a week. So sorry. This is what happens, Danny, to the community. They've been starved of painting time. Well, that edge went really well. Let's see if I can do this one as well. Excellent. Bit trickier here. come back to them. Now these bits on the top, I could actually mask these off if I wanted to, but by the time I get the masking tape out, I could have probably just done it anyway. And it's a real straight line, and it's good practice, isn't it? Talking of freehanding straight lines, Shiv, how's the project checks going? Have you even put anything together yet from your new orc box? Bought a patrol box of orcs just to practice checks. That's commitment, that is. Cool. What's making my eyes go funny? Adrian appears to be done for the evening. That's me done for this week. 14 out of 120 guardsmen painted and based. 10 out of 11 command staff almost finished basing. Just waiting on the PVA to dry. Good for you, man. That sounds like you've done loads of stuff there. One of your 5 a day, Danny. There's so much weirdness going on in the live chat today. It's just a little bit weird. The bit you just painted silver is a magazine release. The slide above it in red is the bolt. Yes, that's what I thought it was. Thank you so much. And the bit you're painting in front of the site would be the NATO site clip. Yeah, the space marines, a valuable asset to modern NATO. Shiv says, so cannot confirm, but the new Horus Heresy rules are referenced in some way to Rogue Trader era game. Also, no progress on checks mark 4 at the moment. Okay, cool. Ooh, more on the Horus Heresy conspiracy, please. 120 guardsmen, you psychopath. Yes. Yeah, when you're a guard player, you just got to deal with that. I play Tyranids. At least I can get away with the fact that if I paint them all badly, I can just go, oh, that's just nature. Nature doesn't like a straight line. Adrian's got to paint uniforms. A little bit of texture in that paint there. I think that's just needs perhaps a little bit of water. Loosen up a little. There we go. The bit I don't like is painting inside these little crenellations on this NATO tack rail. starting to get a little bit of silver creep going on over here. Look at that. Well, silver, a notorious creeper. Get the feeling I should probably be using a slightly smaller brush here. Oh, I painted the granulations once. N-Dub's nerdy brother with spots, bad skin and thick glasses. What are we talking about? I was gonna go with English Heritage, Mr. Jenkins. You're still there, Adrian? So you're going? I mean, by all means, please do stick around. Yeah, I've just no idea what you guys are talking about. I think I'm just going to leave you to it now. Really, it's all getting a bit drunk. But you know what? At the end of a week, it's nice just to let your hair down, isn't it? Do some painting, have a beer, which I've totally forgotten about, and just talk waffle with your mates. And they are talking waffle. Getting somewhere. Haven't heard from Kez for a little while. Kez, how are your mechs coming along? Your Rasselhague mechs. When you don't hear from people in the live chat, you know it's just because they're knuckling down, or maybe they've got their head trapped in the microwave or something. But yeah, that's why it's nice to check in from time to time, make sure you're all okay. Missed a bit. A bit of water in the palette just loosens up all the last bits of paint in there, brings it all back to life again. You can get the sort of the vestiges of the paint, just kind of maximising the amount of paint that you get the use out of. Sound like I was waffling a little bit there, but you know what I mean. There's always going to be a certain amount of paint that dries, right, in your palette. If you get it just at the right time, you can whack a load of water in there, or a bit of water, reanimate it, and kind of get most of those vestiges which would just kind of normally dry and not be useful at all. Wasted. Okay, so still got to do a lot of like up to the edge neat bits in here, inside the barrel obviously at some point, all the way around really, just neatening up those edges. And as I'm going around, I will give it a cursory second coat, and I only really need that in the large open areas, like on here for example, here. But in some of the detailed areas, obviously I'm going to put a wash over it as well later. Most of those little inadequate bits will just sort of blend away. And that last detail, whatever this is, maybe some sort of, I mean this looks like it's a bayonet clip of some sort, right? This little bit on the bottom is probably where you hang your mobile trinket or charm, because every self-respecting Space Marine would have, you know, a Pandora's bracelet charm or something hanging from the edge of their bolt gun. Okay, I'm pretty chuffed with that. I don't know what colour to paint the eagle on the side. I think I want to paint it gold. So that's what I think I'm going to do. That's all it took, which is that little bit of thought there. I just think I'm going to paint it gold. I am going to paint the little receiver handle there, the bolt. I'm going to paint that silver as well, and I will paint the recess in there black, but not the edges. Just I want it to look like it's going into a void or something. Or should I paint it all silver in there? What say you? The little recess in there, should I paint the bottom of it silver? Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Because you'd be pulling the slide back, it will still be bare metal. Yeah, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. What do you think of it so far? It feels like a painstaking process. Very shiny though, isn't it? A painstaking process just for, you know, I've been painting this now nearly solid for an hour. But it's bigger than an actual Space Marine model, really. It's still quite big. It's going to take a second to refocus my eyes and, you know, lubricate the waterway with beer. Kez says, not too bad. Getting the grey sections done tonight and maybe cockpits. Oh, you're going to go straight in for the cockpits already, huh? Okay. How goes the Republic's war effort? Not great. They do get absorbed by Clan Ghost Bear. They don't have a long run. Yeah, they're my favourite faction in BattleTech. I don't know why. They just, I just like them. They seem to be like the friendliest or the nicest, and they just got some like good values. You know, but standard. You know, in any decent story, there's no real good guys, right? They still got their bad sides. But I just like them. They kind of got a Scandinavian feel to them as well. So they got like, you know, kings and things like that in there, and it gets a little bit weird for my tastes. Excuse me, I just did a beer burp. But I just like the ethos behind them, and I like the fact that they only get a short run of it. It's almost like that they were being too good and the universe stamped them out. It's a bit of a shame, but you know, it was a short run, but it was a good run. That's the way I like to think about them. Also, I just think that the other factions in there are just way more horrific. If the Rasselhaig are still like bad guys, the other guys are just horrendous. Like, you know, I can't remember the names of them, but the samurai ones, and then House Liao. What are the samurai ones called? Kez is going to now step in and tell me all the different names of them all. Like Steiner and Davian, they're kind of cool. They're almost like, you know, like UK and America, just like, but blown up massively, completely exaggerated forms thereof. I like the fact that Steiner, in my mind, smacks of United States. We've got a lot of industry, so we're just going to chuck big things at you. Their Scout Lancers, for example, are 4 Atlas mechs, which are like the biggest mechs that you can really get. They're scouting mechs. I love that. It's great. They're not supposed to be. Draconis Combine, House Karita. Thank you so much. I could, just for the life of me, I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, they seem to be like really bad people. So if everyone's bad, they're really bad. Steve says, they were always my favourite. Oh, okay, cool. Opinion, feel free to ignore, would be the Flash Eliminator. Would the Flash Eliminator look better in gunmetal grey? Yes, basically what I'm going to do with all of these silver parts is I'm going to put a wash of grey over them. And it's just enough to really stop the whole super shiny metal showing through. It makes it look like it's actual metal rather than being something painted silver. And I was thinking, as I was silently painting away, that I could do like a soot residue on the barrel as well. I've got some like, not textures, what are they called? Powders, pigments, that's the one I'm thinking of. I'm really struggling, it's been a long week. I could do like a little bit of soot deposit on there. Now, I know guns don't necessarily build up soot, and maybe they do. I don't know. I've never really shot many guns before, but maybe they do. But I like the idea of bolters maybe building up quite a bit of it, because they are essentially RPGs. The bolter shell itself is a self-propelled grenade. It has the concept of the bolter has changed over the years. It used to be caseless, but now you'll see them like in video and media and things like that discharging shells. I should imagine because it's cinematic and it looks really cool. So what they've done now is they kind of retconned it a little bit, saying that it has a case with gunpowder to clear it from the body of the gun, from the barrel, and then when it's a few meters in front of the gun, when it's left the gun, it ignites a propellant inside, and then it becomes like a highly accurate rifled grenade, essentially, with different types of warheads and ordnances on them. But they the shells on them are huge because Space Marines are big, right? And they blow people apart rather than, you know, put a hole in you and you fall on the floor like a normal gun, for example. So they are essentially, for all intents and purposes, armor-piercing rocket grenades. Kind of cool, right? So if you imagine like grenades being rocketed, or rockets even coming out the end of your gun, in my head it stands to reason that there'd be like a little bit of sit on it. Also, rule of cool, it's a gigantic gun that can never be fired by humans, so they have to have fantasy people fight. It's just made up stuff, right? Do what you want with it. Steve saying paint it gunmetal. Okay, cool. I just think it would stand out more against the gas plug and whatever that square bit is supposed to be under the barrel. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a bayonet attachment or something like that. I don't know. It's just a big bit of metal, isn't it? Soot residue would look fit. They build up carbon, which is basically soot. Yeah, cool. Because they have a sliding bolt, there's no reason to have one without a case. Yes. Basically, they just made it up over the years, didn't they? Just made it sound cool. Like it's got all these really cool things in it. Yeah. Spent shells look cool in a cinematic thing, don't they? So yeah, have shells. Also, if you're building a miniature, you know, like diorama, whatever, shells on the floor, it looks kind of cool. Looks dramatic. There is a guy in Gaunt's Ghost who fires a bolter. Okay. Tell me more. I need more silver paint. Got about 10 minutes to go, give or take. So if you want to talk any more about bolters and gunmetal, colours, whatever, hit me up, man. I'm not going to put any paint retarder in there now. That's thinner. I don't want thinner. I want a bit of flow improver. I had a shell once. Imagine if people had shells. Weird. Okay. I am going to use this last little bit of paint in there just to kind of go back over what I've already done. Excuse me. And then probably throughout Discord this evening, I'm just going to start neatening on the edges. I always feel a little bit of pressure during the show, so if there's like difficult stuff that I can avoid, and it's not necessary or a part of my plan, I always leave it until Discord or even the next day. So yeah, like really trying to push it into the edges is going to be quite difficult for me today because it's been a little while since I've painted, so I'm just going to leave it till later. belly of this brush is just a little too fat for me to want to take into that narrow space in there. I'm going to end up getting silver all over the edge of the red paint, so I'm going to get a smaller brush for that, I think. Just nice to stop it looking so patchy. That's quite a bit better already there, really. Get a bit sloppy, a bit tired now. I've started to notice I'm not really in frame so much. Okay. Pretty much run out of paint in my palette, so I'm just trying to add a little bit of water to my brush, loosen up any of the paint that's in there, anything that's left in the palette. Again, any of those vestiges, and just using that now just to sort of give it a cheeky second coat to these bits that I've already done. And even though it's not a proper coat of paint, it's actually enough just to stop those little layers looking a bit patchy. A bit of dry paint there, just come out the bristles. Get that over there. Right, I think just while I'm finishing up, I might just, for the sake of it, get a little bit of gold on that eagle, just because I want to break it up a little bit. I'm going to use the same gold as what's on his chest plate. I could do a different type of gold, I don't think there's any need to do that. If I don't like this colour, of course, I can always go over with a bit of silver. Not locking me into my choice or anything. I think my brush choice might be a bit on the fat side. Quite nice. There's a lot more to do to the gold than what you see right there. It's got some edges, obviously. It's probably a bit patchy right now. I will end up hitting it with the same grey wash as everything else is going to get. I'll highlight it ever so slightly with a slightly lighter gold, or even maybe a tiny bit of silver on there, just to kind of give it a bit of depth, make it stand out a little bit. But otherwise, I think that blends quite nicely with the aesthetic of the Marine himself. So it's using the same colours, so there's a theme basically across all the metallics, across all the reds. The red that's on his shoulder, the red that's on his hand grenade, the red that's on his rifle is all the same. So it creates a connective theme basically. Mix a tiny bit of black into the gold to give it an antique looking to the gold. I think, and I do like that idea, but I think that the wash will do a very similar thing. If it doesn't, I will try it in the next thing, because I want you to see what I do with it, to see if it achieves what's what you're saying, and if it doesn't, then the next project that I use gold in, I'll give that a go. Cool. Let's look at some of the comments here we've got going in. Mate, there's so much stuff in there. It's been so chatty, and it's one of the evenings where I haven't been chatting so much. Yeah, I'm talking about Mother Teresa now. I'm just... He looks fresh out of training, all shiny and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty much the intention. Like, he's got a few scratches and scuffs on him, but yeah, he's probably been out for a day, you know, or two, whatever. But yeah, I did toy with the idea of griming him up. I've just never painted anything like him before, like these models, and I just wanted to have fun putting colour on him. I've never painted Dark Angels before, and I was going to grime him up, and I just thought it's too common, I suppose. Like, you see a lot of grimy stuff, and it is super attractive and it is realistic. I just wanted to have a bold coloured thing, and I really like him. So maybe I will get bored of looking at him so clean, and maybe I'll come back to him as a future project and grime him up. But you know, gotta put this guy to bed now. Anyway, let's come away from here. 'Tis a silly place. Oh. What a day, what a week, what a month, what a year. I'm shattered. I feel like a tramp. I haven't shaved in a week. I've just not had the time. I've just been round the clock busy. I've been looking after the place that I work in the absence of my boss, who's been away for a while on an emergency. It's kind of been like, this is what we do. You should do this while I'm away. And I had to, and it wasn't their fault. I just had to do it. And I've just been run ragged. I've been carrying everything on my shoulders for a while. Very proud of that. But boy, gosh darn it, aren't I tired. And it's really muggy warm this evening in the studio here, so it makes me feel a little bit like shattered as well. Even though I haven't done tons and tons of painting, I'm really happy with that. I do feel quite productive with it. There's been a lot of, yeah, there's a few bits and pieces that I need to tidy up, but I was able to get probably about 40% of like the cutting in. That's what we call it, right? Cutting in. I managed to get about 40% of that done, maybe even more. So it should speed up. I'd love to find the time to do some more between now and next week, but I hate making all these false promises to you by saying I'm going to get that done by next week and being so busy that I don't even come to the studio. So yes, of course, if I get time, I will come up and do it, but I might have to pick this up next week. But I think even if I don't do anything over the next week, I think I'm pretty much I'm there. Like, the end is in sight. Like, it's just a couple of hours of me just, you know, farting around trying to get this guy finished. And it's very, very possible for me to finish this guy during next week's show. That's exciting. Anyway, that is enough for me this evening. Got a bit of a frog in my throat. I'm so tired. I hope you guys have had a really nice evening. It's nice to be back. Thank you so much for allowing me the space, though you didn't have much of a choice in it, but permitting me the chance to go and spend time last week with my friends. I had a wonderful time doing that. I did miss the painting. I'm sorry that I'm so tired and feeling a little bit tatty. I feel like the show's quality drops when I'm like that, but this is a space really for you guys to come along and just, you know, carve out those 2 hours at least a week to do your hobby thing, whatever that might be. If you find it valuable, please do consider subscribing to the show if you haven't done so already. Bring a friend along, share the idea of it at work or at school or wherever it is that you go, and get some people to come along, because you never know, one of your friends might really benefit from a show like this. I was talking to a colleague at another centre the other day, and I was talking about all the cool courses I could be sending my staff on. He said, you are a wargamer, aren't you? On the phone. Yeah. And he went, yeah, me too. I'm like, cool, let's connect up. So hopefully going to go and have a beer with him at some point over the next few days and get him to come along to the show. That's what you guys should be doing. So yeah, share, subscribe, get some friends involved, go put up a poster, wear a t-shirt, get a tattoo of EC8. Please don't do that. Please do photos if you do, because it's such a stupid idea, but I want it to happen now. Anyway, I'm going to head on over the Discord straight away after the show. I'm not going to be on for very long because I am absolutely tired, but it'd just be lovely to see some of your faces. I get the regular guys over there, but if you fancy coming and do something a little bit different, literally it's just a little room where we all get together on a video chat and talk rubbish at each other, and give some ideas of painting things and whatever. The show continued, basically, that Easy 8 after party on Discord. Links to all of our platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Discord, all down there, with a whole host of links of other businesses and exciting people and things that I've met along the merry years of doing Easy 8. Go and check him out, and you've got all the time to do that now because the show is over. If you like what we do, you can talk about it, leave a comment, you can chat in the live chat, you can hit me up on Facebook, come and talk to me on Discord, whatever you like. I love having conversations with you about our lovely hobby and other stuff too. So until next week, stay safe, be kind, keep on painting, get some colour on your grey, and I'll see you soon. Take care now, bye bye. Don't forget to come to Discord to find out the harrowing story of this morning. It's a doozy.